hear you.
So that's why I was working on the productive. We have to
Nice concept.
Yeah, that's the problem we had.
Okay, let me close the door. Today I want to talk about something that has been dividing our country. The topic is very serious and very important. South Africa has been divided in between over the issue of race, even after Amabogobogo did what they did, which was very unifying, or rather a unifying factor for all races within this country. In the context of racism, and in the context of white people having alleged that they've stolen black people's land, in the context of all of that, economic freedom that the masses of the country have been pursuing, I want to talk on this topic on a very, very broader scale. By the way, my name is Dr. Mandla Lamba. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of Veritas Capital. So I want to explain this for young and upcoming business or entrepreneurs across the country. I want to explain this to students who are attending university. I want to explain this to the young ones who are currently at public schools and private schools, so that when they grow up knowing the facts. Apartheid happened. It is unfortunate that it happened, but it's a thing of the past. It happened, but it ended. There is no more apartheid in South Africa. The only thing that we're suffering from is racism. And I want this to be stressed out, that the racism does not just come from white people. It also comes from black people who despise white people. It is easy for a white person to answer a question or answer someone arrogantly, and then the black person takes that hard feeling and say he's a racist. But when a black man answers him arrogantly, it's not racism. Do you see? It is easy for the general population of the continent or the country to say we have white supremacists. They name big names in supremacy, Stellenbosch Mafia. They name big names that these people are white supremacists. Now, I know for a fact that there are a very huge number of black people who are in power, who sit in closed doors discussing how to do things outside working as a United Nations, trying to take from the white in a manner that is ill. I'm gonna ask, if we are quick to say they are white supremacists, then those blacks who sit in corners and discuss things that would have a very negative impact on the economy of the country, what are they called? Because I've never read a newspaper talking about black supremacists, because they are black supremacists. So any businessman who sits around with other business people, no matter the race, and then they decide that they will control and consolidate certain industries, that's a principle from the Bible. God says once you've subdued the earth, dominate it. So if a group of people from Western Cape, Stellenbosch, I don't care where they come from, decide that they're going to come together and control certain industries, it's business, it's not personal. Now, how is it that we're going to have a continued racism continuing from apartheid till today? We have children that we want to see live in a free society, yet we are the same people who are driving racism as the core point in the country. Just an example on the issue of economic freedom. Nelson Mandela has been said by many that he was a sellout. I don't understand what a sellout is in his context, because Nelson Mandela ushered us into what became a democratic country. Today we have what we call a rainbow nation because of the sacrifice of Nelson Mandela and other struggle icons from the African National Congress, the PIC, the entire forces including the IFP. All those forces that fought for the freedom, they had to fight for it, because if a black child is walking on the street, gets arrested for walking on the street, if a black child can befriend a white child during the apartheid time, that was a personal matter. That's why they took arms and they went to war and they fought and people were killed, because the apartheid was personal. Now, what is economic freedom? Economic freedom is different from apartheid. Economic freedom, the word economics, emanates from business. So it means when you come to business, you cannot bring your emotions. I don't care if you're still holding on to the ruthlessness or the effects of the ruthlessness of the apartheid regime, which is like long time ago. But the moment you're going to come with that mentality and say the issue now is that economic freedom, we need to get these things from these white people because they stole these things from us. That is personal. When you say you're going to go after white people's possessions, even the land and taking land without compensation or with compensation, business transactions are supposed to be willing buyer and willing seller. So even if the government says we're going to go and take the land, we're going to pay for the land. But if the seller is not willing, that is not a fair transaction. So what is economic freedom? Economic freedom is not a personal matter. It is a business matter. So in economic freedom, if you want to bring your personal feelings on how you hate blacks or how you hate white people, then you won't be able to come to table or into a dialogue where we are able to channel all our energies to the right position or right direction in such a way that we are able to build a society that knows no race, that has capital inclusiveness, not a capitality that is only for a certain regime. That will be achieved by a proper dialogue with no feelings, no emotion, personal emotions attached. Because if we speak economics, we're not talking personalities. We are talking business. Economic freedom that is being chased is a business transaction. In a business transaction, I can make you an example. You can wake up in the morning, you've got a stellar business concept, and you go to Stellenbosch and ask for Mr. Rupert. You are white. You are black, and then a white guy has got a fucked up business plan, and then he wakes up, he goes to Mr. Rupert or Christo Visi, wherever the guys they call their name in these newspapers. They go to them and say to them, they say, I want you to invest in this business. I'm going to tell you the truth, no matter the color of your skin. These are business people. When they look at the business plan, whether it's from a black man, as long as it makes more merit and it makes sense, Mr. Rupert will invest in that business within a snap, no matter the race, because business transactions are not based on skin color. They are based on business merit, economic sense. So if you're going to be wanting to change this country for better, we need to take all these personal things and understand, in order for us to get to a proper inclusive capitalism environment or society in South Africa, it is not going to be the same as what happened with our grandfathers going into war and fighting against the apartheid government. This is not a personal matter. This is a business matter. We need to sit down and find a way to take all our personal feelings aside and focus on achieving an inclusive capitalism society that is fair, that is just, that is good and beneficial to every citizen of South Africa. And the only way to do that is if we ourselves, mostly as black people, do not classify people as racist because for some reason we happen not to like them. And because of that, in most instances, a white man will say something and then you take it because you have got this grudge, and it's like it revives a dead wound. Now you've got this guy, hey, he's a racist. And now he's defending himself to say, I'm not a racist, but why you? Now you start arguing, and then there's videos and talking about racism. Racism is both-sided. It's not just white people. We also, black people, a lot of us are racists. And yet we are claiming that white people are making South Africa bad. The truth of the matter is that white people have continued to contribute massively to the growth of the economy. If you look at all the big corporations in this country, they are white owned. They employ masses of our people in the country. What is the issue now? If you attack them, it means you are causing a digression in the economic cycle of this country. What are we doing? Go and find a way to apply proper measures and proper structures that would lead to a proper dialogue where you can engage, or we can engage, no matter the race, in order to find solutions that will propel this country to a better economic position. We are on the verge of an economic meltdown, and it's going to happen, and it's going to hurt us so bad. And most of these will be emanating from poor governance that has been happening in this country. My prayer and my request is that every black person takes what I've just said seriously. Mostly you entrepreneurs, take what I've said seriously. There is no color in economics. There is no color in money. You only see color when you go personal. In business, there is no color. We know no black, we know no white, we know no colored. We know no Indian. If you want to become a successful businessman, take all your racial politics aside and focus on what we'll be able to do. Not unless you are in business for personal gain and personal reasons. Then I would understand where you come from. This is Mandla Lamba. I'm out.